And baby, thank God for Fenty, because this lipstick has not moved. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carlina Davis of Spilling the Sweet Tea, and welcome to episode 2 of You Pulling Up to the Cookout? Bring this. Baby, today is all about the sides.
We thank you, Lord, and they all did say,
Amen. The first recipe that we're making in the Cookout series is gonna be my baked beans. When I tell you these baked beans are so easy to make, you only need a few ingredients, and they're gonna be a hit at the cookout. All right, so these are all the ingredients you're gonna need to make my baked beans. First and foremost, baby, you're gonna need, of course, Bush's baked beans. This is my go-to every single time. I don't even mess around with any other brands. Bush's is what you need. You're also gonna need some ketchup, some mustard, some maple syrup, an onion, and some bacon. Because you know, in my house, swine is fine. All right, the first thing you wanna do is dice up an onion. You see how I almost dropped it, but I didn't, okay? You just want to dice up your onion. I always cut mine in half. And then peel the skin off. So what I normally do is just get a really sharp knife and then cut 3 slits. Roll on this one too, because this onion's not that big. And then I come across. Makes it a lot easier to slice the onion. All right, our onions are diced. The next thing you want to do is cut your bacon slices in half. Get you some kitchen scissors. These actually, I use this for crabs, but all you want to do is just cut your bacon in half. Depending on the size of your pan, you can put as much bacon in on top as you want. I'm gonna do about 8 strips, 8 half strips. And you're not cooking this bacon all the way through. You're just gonna render the fat, because you're gonna add the slices of bacon that are like halfway cooked on top of these baked beans. You don't wanna cook this bacon all the way through. This is actually what it should look like. And you don't want it to curl on you. You want it to still kind of lay flat. We just gonna flip our bacon. That one ain't ready yet. Should look a little bit like that. And this bacon fat, we gonna saute these onions in this bacon fat. Flavor all in your ear. Ain't that what Craig Mack said? Flavor all in your mouth. All at the cookout. All right, now you want to just saute your onions in this here bacon fat. Want to saute them so they're nice and softened, and then we'll mix everything together and bake our baked beans. All right, so I'm opening up my Bush's baked beans. The great thing about Bush's is they have such a great variety. That's why I love them so much. So if you have people coming to your cookout, they don't eat meat. They have a vegetarian beans. They have a home style. They have a bunch of different flavors. And like I said, it's a classic. It's gonna hit every time, and it's Spilling the Sweet Tea approved, okay? Add your baked beans to your baking dish of choice. I love this one. This is the Time and Table baking dish from Walmart. I'll link it. Add your sauteed onions that you cooked in that bacon fat to your beans. Like, I don't put green peppers in my beans because my 11-year-old will not eat it. But if you want to add green peppers, free will, you can do that. Add whatever you want. I know some people like green peppers in their baked beans, but my picky kid ain't gonna eat that. Now you want to add some ketchup, about 3 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and then you're going to need 5 tablespoons of maple syrup. I like Michelle's, the Black woman-owned syrup brand. This is her maple cream syrup. She also has a butter pecan that's really good too. You're going to need about 5 tablespoons of maple syrup. Measure with your heart. So all you want to do is give everything a good mix. We're going to put our bacon on top and then put it in the oven. All right, last thing you want to do is just lay your bacon right on top of your beans. Just like that. And they're crispy, but not too crispy. If you pulling up to the cookout, baby, you better bring these baked beans. All right, y'all. The next side that we're making for the you pulling up to the cookout, bring this, is blueberry cornbread. And we're going to add a whipped lemon butter on top. Let me show you how to make it. All right, here are all the ingredients you're gonna need to make this blueberry cornbread. You're gonna need some cornbread mix. Of course, I'm using my own cornbread mix, Miss Lena's. You're gonna need some fresh blueberries, a lemon, milk, eggs, some flour, some sugar, cinnamon, butter, and powdered sugar. That's it. Add your cornbread mix to a bowl. If you want to grab my cornbread mix, you can find it on my website, spillingthesweettea.com. So you want to add your cornbread mix to your bowl. Because we're making blueberry cornbread and we want it to be a little bit sweeter, we're going to add more sugar, okay? I'm adding a half a cup of sugar with love. Okay, let's crack our eggs. We'll put this to the side. We're going to crack 3 eggs. Let me get a spoon because you already know I got to take that egg snot out. So this recipe calls for 3 eggs. So we're going to crack our eggs. Oh.
Casualty.
And now we're just going to get this like white stringy part that's connected to the yolk. I got to take that out. If you watch my videos, you already know I'm going to do it. I saw my mom do this when she would use eggs, if she was cooking with eggs, or she was making eggs. So I do it. And it's funny, ever since I've been calling this out in my videos, so many other people say, oh, I do that as well. So if you saw my video with Miss Pat, if you have not watched it, go watch it. We had a ball on that episode.
So I call it egg snot.
So my friend swear this is sperm from the daddy. So she was like, I swear my hand to God, she would not eat that. She said that's sperm that did not make it. So she always pulled it out.
It's gotta go. It's gotta go.
Okay, so how we get it out?
We gotta get a spoon.
Okay.
She didn't know about cleaning her eggs. So I had to teach her about cleaning her eggs. She was calling it eye snot. I'm like, no, Miss Pat, it's egg snot. It's gotta go either way, whatever you call it. All right, our eggs are nice and clean. We're gonna add it to our mixture. All right, you wanna add your 3 eggs that we cleaned. I also wanna add 1 cup of whole milk, just like that. Now you wanna melt in the microwave a stick of butter. It's gotta go in. This is not healthy, but it's delicious, okay? And everything in moderation. In order for your blueberries not to sink to the bottom of your cornbread, you wanna coat it with a little flour. So I'm just gonna dry my blueberries off a little bit since I rinsed them, just so the flour can adhere. You don't want it too wet because you don't want your blueberries to be like pasty. So you just need a little bit, about a tablespoon will do you. And then all you want to do is just coat your blueberries in the flour, just like this. So when you add it to the batter and then put it in the cast iron skillet, it won't sink. Your blueberries will be nicely distributed through your cornbread. All right, I'm gonna mix this up. My butter is still a little too warm. I don't want to cook my eggs, but if I mix it up and then add the butter, we'll be good money. As long as the butter gets in there, it's all that matters. So all you want to do is give this a good mix until it's well combined. I almost forgot. You want to add a little bit of vanilla extract to your cornbread batter. And now you want to add in your melted butter. Give me the whole stick. And then give everything a good mix. And then we'll add in our flour-coated blueberries. This is what we're working with so far. Now let's add our blueberries in. And then get everything well incorporated. Baby, this is gonna be so good. All right, I heated up my skillet with a couple tablespoons of butter. So the skillet is nice and hot. Now I'm gonna add my cornbread because I want my cornbread to have that nice crust on the bottom, okay? You don't have to do this, but I always try to do it. All you wanna do is just add your batter in. Baby, listen. This is about to be so good. We're gonna make that whipped lemon butter and put that on top once our cornbread is done. You're gonna get an invite again and again if you bring this. If you pulling up to the cookout and you bring this, invite secured. So we're making a copycat of First Watch blueberry cornbread. So they have a whipped lemon butter that they put on top of their cornbread. So that's what we making. So we're gonna whip up this butter. So I have a stick of butter that I softened at room temperature. Okay. Now you want to add a zest. Now you want to add the zest of 1 lemon. All right, so get your little zester out and get the zesting. Smelling like summer. You're really just combining it. Oh yeah. This is my favorite gadget because it's cordless. I'm not tripping over no cord in the kitchen. Ha! That's a plug for my boy, cord in the kitchen. I love me some cord. This smells so good, y'all. All that zest. Look at that. Lemon butter, whipped lemon butter. We're gonna add it to our little ramekin. We can pop it in the fridge. When we're ready to serve the cornbread, put a dollop of this on the cornbread and you'll dust it with powdered sugar that you mix with cinnamon. All right, to finish our blueberry cornbread the way First Watch does, we're gonna mix some powdered sugar with a little bit of cinnamon. Oop, that's too much. Just add a little bit of cinnamon in here. And we're gonna shake, shake, shake all over our cornbread and then add that lemon butter. So we're gonna add it right on top like they do at First Watch. Scoop a doop. Right on top. Yas. First Watch for what? We got it right here at home. All right, y'all. This is our third side that if you're pulling up to the cookout, you need to bring this. Baby, we're making garlic parmesan corn on the cob. Baby, this garlic parmesan corn on the cob is going to get you invited back again and again. Let me show you how to make it. All right, these are all the ingredients that you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need some fresh corn. If you can't find fresh corn, you can use frozen corn. But y'all know me, fresh is best. So it's summertime, so you should be able to find some fresh corn. So you just want to, shuck your corn, get all the silk off, wash it. That's it. You're also going to need garlic. I've already minced up a head of garlic here. I'm going to boil my corn in some whole milk. So you're going to need some milk, and you're going to need Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, a little paprika for color. And for our sauce, we're going to make heavy cream. We're going to use heavy cream, some salt, and some Tony's. That's it. So you want to add your milk to a pot. You're going to boil the corn in a milk bath. You can add water to it. You just want to make sure the corn is covered. So I'm going to add a little water. Then you want to season it with a little salt. And then add your corn. Y'all, this is so easy. Baby, you pulling up with this garlic parmesan corn, you're going to get invited again and again. All right, y'all, the corn is boiling, so we're going to make our garlic parmesan sauce. This is very similar to Alfredo sauce. So all you're going to do is add some butter to your skillet, about a tablespoon or so. And once the butter melts, we're going to cook up our garlic. And this is a whole head of garlic. We like it garlicky around here. You can use less if you want, but I did a whole head of garlic. Baby, it's nothing like sauteing garlic in some butter. Best combo. Best combo ever. All right, our butter is melted. We're going to add our garlic. I'm just going to saute this garlic in this butter. All right, I'm going to add some red pepper flakes to my butter and garlic for a little kick, a little extra razzle dazzle. So I'm going to add in 2 cups of heavy cream. Add her in. Let this simmer a little bit. We're going to season it. Let it simmer for a little bit and then add the cheese. This is the easiest corn. It's going to be so flavorful. And once this sauce reduces, we'll add it to our corn that we're boiling in this milk. All right, our sauce is simmering almost where we want it before we add the cheese. Let's season it with a little Tony's, Sasheries, and not Cacheras as my mama used to call it. I think I told y'all that story how I used to mispronounce the seasoning, but it's Tony Cacheras. So, just follow your heart. That's enough. You don't want to put too much because you have the crushed red pepper, so you don't want it to be spicy. And if we want some additional color, we can add some paprika, which I think I will do. All right, let's add the cheese. We have Parmesan and mozzarella. You want to add more Parmesan than mozzarella. So about a cup of Parmesan. Goes in. So I'm going to add all that Parmesan. And then maybe a quarter cup of mozzarella. And give it a good mix, baby. Yes. Yes, she's cheesy. She's garlicky. She's delicious. Add a little paprika just for a little color. Just a little bit. That's what we want to be. Our corn is boiled in that milk. So I'm just going to add my corn to my pan of choice. And then we're going to pour this sauce on top. Baby, toss them things so they get lost in the sauce. Garnish with a little bit of parsley on top. Baby, this is a cookout plate of all cookout plates. Look at this garlic Parmesan corn. We got the baked beans. And this is the star of the cookout plate. This blueberry cornbread. Let's taste it and make sure it's spilling the sweet tea approved. I'm going to start with these beans. Ooh, she's still steaming. That's good. That bacon fat's in there. The onion. Delicious. Let's take a bite of this corn. Look how fabulous this looks. My God. It's so garlicky. That is delicious. Last but not least, let's taste this blueberry cornbread. I put more lemon butter on top, as I should. Let's see what it's giving. Let me put a little butter on this bite I'm going to taste. Okay. The butter want to play. Let's take a bite of this blueberry cornbread. Lord Jesus, keep me near the cross. For all the world shall see. This is what you need to pull up to the cookout with. This is going to get you invited again and again. This will get a ring on your finger if you pull up to the cookout with this blueberry cornbread. When I tell you this is so moist, it is so good. A 10 out of 10 and definitely spilling the sweet tea approved. Bushes, call me. Let's do this thing.